I'm going to start a new series talking about the effects of alcohol. I understand that a lot of people don't have a problem with drinking. You can have 1, 2, 3, you're fine. This message might be for you, but it's really for people that have an issue with the effects of it, how it makes them feel, how it makes them change, how they want it, even when they don't really want it, the hold that it may have on some, and understanding that it really is called spirits for a reason. The series that I'm going to start are going to outline the benefits of sobriety, the dangers of drinking, and a few testimonies and stories that I can share that might encourage people who have seen a difference in their life when they drink and they don't like it. People who might be struggling. Some people are in AA or Celebrate Recovery or different recovery centers. And some people haven't done that. But deep inside, they know that it's a problem. It's giving their life trouble that they don't want. I have just celebrated my 8th year without any alcohol in my system. No wine, no beer, no hard liquor, for over 8 years now. And I feel, number one, grateful to God for taking away the desire for me to drink, taking away any need or want, and wisdom during the process, especially in the very beginning, to make decisions to maintain my sobriety over any relationship, any plan, any event, any holiday. I think I can help people out here who either don't want to have a problem with alcohol, do have a problem with alcohol, or they're on the same path as me. Sobriety. It's a beautiful thing. And for fellow believers, we are required to live sober. So this new series that I'm going to start is going to be straight from the heart, but also backed up with facts, medical evidence, real life experience, and just plain old my love to you and things that I think can help you. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be sober. There's a purity and a beauty in it. Something that I didn't even expect when I wanted it before, when I was still drinking many years ago. It's incomprehensible for someone who's trapped in that cycle. But I'll tell you, with God, all things are possible. And I'm here to encourage you as well. Sobriety is where it's at. So I look forward to sharing this new series coming soon. Sobriety is superb, getting down to the core of the matter. I'd like to talk about some of the reasons why people might drink heavily. Many people try to wash away pain and suffering that they've experienced in their childhood, or possibly a childhood, teens, and adult life. In order to move on to a place of healing, there's a few things that have to take place. And what I'm going to say may not go in line with some of the theories that different organizations have, like AA and Celebrate Recovery and a lot of the religious denominations. Those organizations and groups often talk about asking people that you've hurt for forgiveness. And that's true. If you've really done something horrendous to somebody, yeah, that should be on the radar of something that you need to take care of. But before that, before you go back and you start talking to people that you've hurt, we need to get to the core of the matter about something. Many times people were raised in a home with a narcissist flying monkeys, enablers, emotional, physical, sexual abuse. Sometimes all three of them. How in the world do you expect yourself, as a normal spiritual being, to thrive if you haven't confronted those things? How can you expect yourself to continue communicating with not only the people that abused you, but the flying monkeys and the enablers that witnessed the whole thing and chose not to stand for truth? You still go to these family functions. You still keep in touch with these people. You still share what's going on in your life with them because you feel that you have to forgive and forget. Absolutely not. Before you can heal, if no one has told you this in the past, you may be angry and trying not to accept that reality. You may be so focused on moving on, forgiving, forgetting, putting the past behind you, that you are guilty of sweeping it under the rug. Unintentionally, possibly. But you can't run from this. You cannot run from this. You can't hide behind a drunken stupor, blacking out, going out, trying not to think about these things, and think that you are somehow going to just miraculously get past it. Why? Because you forgave them? We need to be clear about something. Healing comes in different forms, but I am absolutely against feeling that I have to pretend, along with the pretenders, that everything was fine in a situation that was horrendous, unfair, abusive. Just because it happened in your childhood and you're an adult, don't think time washes away wounds and heals. Just things happen. Just, 20 years have passed. You should get over it. It's that exact attitude that causes a lot of people to drink and try to mask their pain and self-medicate. So on this journey to sobriety, you need to be 100% honest with yourself. Are there people in your life that you need to either confront and separate from for a time being, or just not confront, and they call it no contact for a reason? Go absolutely no contact. The people that enabled the narcissists and the abusers in your past, they need to be held to account. You can't look the other way while somebody's being abused, and now 20 years, 15, 30, 40 years later, you get a free pass because time has passed and, we're all adults now. It's time to hold the flying monkeys accountable too. They might call just to check up on you and see how you're doing and report back to the narcissist or the abuser. If you really want to be sober, if you really want to heal, you have to make a decision. Is my life worth their life? Are you going to sacrifice yourself for people who probably don't even care? They wouldn't even care, really, if you died. As long as they're not the one that's dying, that's all they care about. You could drink yourself into the grave, and they'll just say, well, he or she, they always had a problem. These are the people that you're willing to die for? So the point of this video is to say, you need to come to terms with some pain that you may have suffered at the hands of people that are still in your life. And my suggestion is, for a time being, while you are working on your sobriety, one of the best things you could probably do, whether you confront them about what happened and go no contact, one of the best things you can do while you're sorting this out, while you're working on your sobriety, is to separate yourself from people whether you have to pray, get into your heart, really take some time and think about this. Do you need to separate from certain people? But the most important thing, and we're going to do that right now. For those of you who don't believe in God, I guess you can watch what I'm going to do, or you can stop the video here. But this is for people who are open to the power of God and prayer, and people who believe in God. I want you to repent, ask God to forgive you for abusing your temple. Yes, we're going to get to the reasons why you did it. But remember, we're responsible for this temple. Our body is a temple of the Most High. And by ingesting alcohol and doing things that are abusive to our bodies and that go against God's will and God's order, the first thing we need to do is to ask God to forgive us for what we've done. Can't bypass that. Hello. Welcome back to Sobriety is Superb. So in the last video, part 2 of 3, we discussed repenting to God for abusing our temple, asking God to forgive us for things that we've done, even if it's for self-medicating. We still have to ask God to forgive us for that, because the fact that you're still watching this video, you're still alive, you're still breathing, God's been very merciful. Many people don't get an opportunity to make more than one mistake. They get drunk, they get behind the wheel, and they get into a car accident, and that's it. They don't have a chance to keep making the same mistake over and over again. So part of the gratitude to God for giving you and me another chance is to repent for what was done against the temple that He has given us, His temple. The second part is to ask God for strength. Strength. One day at a time. But days are made of minutes, moments. So it's really one moment at a time. One moment at a time, we need strength to maintain our sobriety, to maintain our decision to stay sober. And connected to that prayer for strength is a prayer for wisdom. They go hand in hand. A big part of being strong is being wise. Making decisions that can make or break your sobriety. I went through a list of ideas in my mind about all the reasons that society and ourselves have given ourselves permission to drink. New Year's Eve, everyone's birthday, everyone's baby shower, a date, first date, a breakup, a divorce, a wedding, your wedding, a friend's wedding, a wake after someone's funeral, a baby shower, Christmas, any type of 4th of July celebration, any gathering, a barbecue, family reunion. Technically, the list goes on into infinity as to reasons why we should drink. And we have been conditioned to think that there's always a reason to have a drink. The mind is so powerful that with this statement that I'm going to make right now, you can change the way you think about it if you start to tell yourself this sentence. There is never a reason to drink. There is never a reason to drink. Life is filled with events, right? I just ran off a string of different holidays and events that can happen in life. But this is part of life. Life is filled with moments, and those moments oftentimes include events. Some of the events that I named, I didn't name nightclubs and things like that, but those are also events. There's a special event going on at this nightclub, you've been invited, you see a flyer, there's a party. These events can come and go. The funny thing about them is there's a date and there's a time, and if you don't go there, guess what? You missed that event. But there's always another one. Fill your mind with new events. Fill your mind with things that are creative, things that are healthy. I had to turn down so many events in the beginning. After a while, I stopped getting invited. But guess what? I was grateful. Thank you. Thank you for respecting the fact that I don't want to go somewhere where I'm going to be spending money or putting myself at risk to drinking. And I didn't have to tell everybody, oh no, I can't go to this event because I don't want to drink. Just say, no, I won't be able to make it. I won't be there. I have other plans. My other plans could be getting to sleep early. You want to talk about getting good sleep? Sobriety. I have the best sleep being sober. Blacking out does not count. Just making a joke. But real sleep, no alcohol involved, that's the purest sleep. Catching up on sleep, pampering myself, taking a hot bath, doing a facial, doing my hair, working on a art project, working on a vocal project, watching stuff on television. Actually, I really watch YouTube. But watching a series, watching my favorite podcaster, reading, listening to music at home, cooking, cleaning. It's like, these are events too. These are healthy things. Working out, taking a new course, learning something that you've never learned before. These are events. These are things that can fill your life, make you a better person. And there are some people in your life right now that eventually will fade away, meaning they will not have the same interest as you because your interests have changed. And guess what? That's part of life too. The reason for this video is to really discuss there's never a reason to have a drink. Life is full of wonderful events. You can make new events, change everything, change your whole life. Thank you for watching. Welcome back to Sobriety is Superb with Cherry Mahogany. In this episode 4 of 4, I'm going to be sharing some less common reasons not to drink. But down in the description box, I will have different links to medical studies and more popular health-based reasons not to drink alcohol. But here we're going to be talking about some less talked about reasons. The number one reason is your safety. Your safety from robbery and assault. When you have alcohol delayed reaction time, you're definitely at more risk of being robbed, attacked, possibly raped, murdered, because you aren't aware of your surroundings. Another reason to not drink, number 2, would be DUI and DWI. So yes, this is a very popular reason that people choose not to drink and they know about. But a lot of people don't realize that there are people that have to pay the state upwards of $30,000 for a DUI. They lose their ability to drive legally. Some people have to hire a driver jumping through hoops to have a license that requires them to only go to work, making it almost impossible to have a normal life, and you have something on your record. It follows you for a very, very long time. Not to mention the possibility of vehicular manslaughter or seriously injuring someone else or yourself. Number 3, money retainment. Not drinking, your mind is sharp, you're not going out and spending your money frivolously, you're not throwing stacks of dollar bills out at clubs, you're not in an environment where pretty much you're seen as a money sign. You're a dollar bill sign to a lot of establishments. They want you to buy bottles, drinks. Yes, for ladies' night, they do lure the women in, but those ladies' night drinks are bottom of the barrel free liquor. And eventually, a gentleman comes along, he offers you a drink, somebody's still paying for that higher quality beverage. It still costs a lot of money. Somebody's losing money. So not drinking is a great way to save money. Number 4, unwarranted sexual experiences. There are probably millions of people who maybe they went out on a date with someone, or they were in proximity with someone. They may not remember how flirtatious they were at the time, because alcohol has a way of opening up a person's sexuality. The video after this, number 5, is going to be talking about the spiritual effects of alcohol. But for now, we're talking about victims of date rape or rape in general, because they had a few drinks, male or female, and this person took complete advantage of them, because if they hadn't been drinking, it would not have happened. Or they may have behaved in a manner a little more flirtatious than normal that made the other person believe that they were okay with it. So there is unwanted and unwarranted sexual experiences. The next one, let me look at my book. Unintentional cheating is number 5. How many people found themselves in a situation with a third party and they wake up and they realize they cheated on their loving partner because they were inebriated, they were drinking, they were at a party or somewhere with someone else, and things went in a direction that it never would have gone had they not been drinking. Relationships and marriages can end. Babies can come into the equation that would never have been conceived had there not been alcohol involved. Number 6, not to drink, is the risk of alcohol poisoning. Alcohol poisoning is caused by high volumes of alcohol in the system in a very short amount of time. But when you're having shots or drinking and not keeping tabs on how much you're drinking, or possibly because you're not thinking logically, you're drinking more than you should, alcohol poisoning is much more common and easy than a lot of people may realize, especially if you haven't been eating enough, or depending on your body weight and your body fat percentage. All these things play a role. So the next one I'm going to say, number 7, is going to sound a little disgusting. Because alcohol hinders the gag reflex in the brain, there's a gag reflex nerve that we have. Alcohol inhibits that. So normally, under normal circumstances, if you have something trapped in your throat, the gag reflex automatically responds and it clears your throat. Many times when a person is drunk, they're laying in prone position on their back and they end up choking on their own vomit. And because their gag reflex is inhibited, they end up choking on their vomit and dying. Technically, they're dying from asphyxiation. Could you imagine that being the cause of death? Dying from choking on one's own vomit. So that's a pretty straightforward reason not to drink alcohol. Another one that may not be discussed much is alcoholic coma. So a person can black out and fall into coma. As we all know, there's no guarantee that a person can just get out of a coma. It's not like a 10-hour max or anything. Coma can last for years. So that's another reason not to drink. So the bonus one I'd like to add is, did you realize that on average, heavy drinkers, alcoholics, live 24 to 28 years shorter than non-drinkers? The beauty about our bodies is it naturally heals itself, and there are many of our organs that will start to renew itself, from our brain, our heart, our kidneys. These things can start to be renewed once we stop drinking. But as far as like a heavy drinker, alcoholic, on average can lose almost 30 years of their life compared to a non-drinker. So these are all points to ponder as you consider either starting your road to sobriety and maintaining your road to sobriety. Thank you so much for watching. Sobriety is superb. Why is alcohol called spirits? As I took a deep dive into why alcohol is called spirits, Google states that it's derived from the Latin word spiritus, which means breath, breeze, essence, or soul. This term was associated with the distillation process, where the alcohol vapor was believed to contain the spirit or essence of the original substance. I also found that alcohol is said to come from the Arabic term al-kul, which means body-eating spirit, although many articles online refute that. However, one of the articles, I'll link it below, states that in alchemy, alcohol is used to extract the soul essence of an entity. By consuming alcohol into the body, it in effect extracts the very essence of the soul, allowing the body to be more susceptible to neighboring entities. This may account for the way you feel differently after drinking. More sexual, more violent, less rational, less logical, and in many cases eventually blacking out completely, with no memory of what was done, said, or what happened, or how long one was blacked out for. This is a very serious and dangerous side effect of excessive drinking. And one of the pitfalls of drinking is due to the decreased logic side of the brain working properly. The more you get drunk, the less logical you are, therefore you're more likely to continue drinking. It's a vicious cycle. My personal take on the term spirit in alcohol is I agree with both. I agree that yes, alcohol is derived from the essence or breath of an item. The alcoholic vapor contains the spirit or essence of that original substance, whether it's rice, rye, barley, wheat, however it's derived. Now, the Arabic term, body-eating spirit, al-kul, I also believe in that, because looking at the effects of alcohol, blacking out, changing. Do you know that 3 million plus people annually die around the world from alcohol abuse? But they're only talking about things like alcohol poisoning, liver damage, heart failure, cancer, and car accidents. But how many people have been killed in a bar fight or a domestic violent situation because one or both of the partners were drunk? A lot of people are in prison right now serving sentences for murder or attempted murder because they had that liquid courage in their system, or they had that spirit that took them over, and they became a violent, rage-filled person. Someone that, when they're sober, they probably wouldn't even recognize if they watched themselves, if they somehow saw video footage or heard themselves on a recording. Alcohol, spirits, can completely change a person. Sobriety is superb. Cherry Mahogany. So this is a bonus video. This is just going to be one of the main things that people can think about when you decide that you want to go sober. Your body, the magnificent body that you have been blessed with from the Creator God Almighty, rejuvenates itself. So when you stop drinking, your body is going to start to heal. My suggestion to anyone who is thinking about or is sober, start getting into weight training, resistance training, bodybuilding. Build your muscles. Your body can be stronger than it's ever been. You can pretty much turn back the hands of time. Your skin will improve. Your strength will improve. Your organs will improve. The way that your brain fires, your thoughts, your reaction time, everything will improve. This is a phenomenal reason to be sober. Never to be underestimated, because it's priceless. It's priceless. So take care. God bless. Stay strong and stay wise. Stay out of places and situations that can cause you to drink. And most of all, trust that God wants this for you. Okay? And a lot of people are rooting for you. The people who aren't and are giving you a hard time about being sober, they got to kick rocks. This is important. This is life and death. Your life, your death. And your future hangs on the balance of the decisions that you make. So God bless you, and I'm signing out. Bye-bye.